My chosen vessel, pause everything right now. This is not an ordinary message. This is not coincidence. This is not just another video appearing on your screen. God says, this is for the chosen ones only. If you are seeing this, you were selected. God is giving you that one thing. If you skip this, you will miss out. Open this immediately before tonight, 11:59 p.m. Don't skip God. Let that settle into your spirit. Out of billions of people scrolling, tapping, and moving through their day, this message reached you. Not by algorithm, not by accident, but by assignment. There is something about you that heaven has been watching closely. Something unique. Something set apart. You may not see it yet. You may not fully understand why your life has unfolded the way it has. But Archangel Michael stands as a guardian over those who are marked for divine timing. And right now, your name is echoing in the courts of heaven. You were selected. Before this day even began, before your eyes opened this morning, there was a decision made in the spiritual realm. A release was prepared. A gift was sealed. And it carries a deadline, 11:59 p.m. Why a deadline? Because obedience has a window. There are moments in life when God moves suddenly. Not slowly. Not casually. Suddenly. And those who respond quickly step into acceleration. Those who hesitate often watch the door close. This is not to create fear. It is to awaken urgency. There is one thing, one key, one answer, one opportunity that heaven has assigned to you. And it has been delayed for too long. The battles you have faced were not random. The confusion you endured was not meaningless. The waiting season was not punishment. It was preparation. Archangel Michael hath been clearing spiritual interference around your destiny. There were forces trying to distract you, delay you, discourage you. There were whispers telling you that you are ordinary, that you have forgotten, that nothing significant is coming. But those whispers were lies. If you are hearing this right now, it is because you passed a silent test. You remained standing when others would have given up. You kept believing when it looked foolish. You held on to faith when logic said walk away. Heaven noticed. And now, something is being handed to you. But here is the mystery. You must open it. God will not force your hand. He will not override your will. The blessing is prepared, but participation is required. That is why this message feels urgent. That is why your spirit feels stirred. That is why something inside you said, watch this now. Because tonight marks a shift. Before 11:59 p.m., a decision must be made in your heart. Will you step into what God is offering? Or will you scroll past destiny? This is for the chosen ones only. Not everyone will understand this message. Some will click away. Some will mock. Some will ignore. But you are still here. And that is evidence. There is a divine exchange taking place. God is removing one heavy thing from your life and replacing it with something you have prayed for silently. Something you stopped telling people about because you were tired of explaining. You heard those quiet prayers, the tears you wiped away so no one would see. Accorded. The nights you questioned your purpose. Owed. The times you almost gave up but didn't. Honored. Archangel Michael has been standing guard over your calling, sword raised, ensuring that what belongs to you cannot be stolen. But now comes your move. There is a spiritual envelope with your name on it. Inside it is clarity. Inside it is restoration. Inside it is that one thing you thought was lost forever. but it must be opened intentionally. Before tonight. The enemy of your destiny thrives on delay. I'll do it later. I'll pray tomorrow. I'll focus next week. The pattern has cost many people their breakthrough. Not you. You were selected because heaven knows you respond when called. Feel the weight of this moment. God is not shouting. He is speaking directly. Calm. Clear. Turn. This is your time. The reason it feels intense is because something is about to shift quickly. What looked blocked will suddenly open. What felt stagnant will begin to move. And what seemed impossible will start aligning. But only if you engage. Archangel Michael is not mentioned lightly here. He is a warrior of divine transitions. When he appears in your spiritual journey, it signals movement. Protection during elevation. Strength during promotion. And elevation is near. You are not watching this randomly before 11:59 p.m. You are being positioned. There is a spiritual transfer that cannot be postponed. One act of faith. One moment of agreement. One decision to not skip what God is saying. That is all it takes. Right now, ask yourself honestly, what is the one thing I have been praying for but doubting could happen? That is the area God is touching. The clock is symbolic. It represents readiness, alignment, completion of a cycle. Before this day ends, something must shift in your mindset. Something must be surrendered. Something must be claimed. Because the chosen ones do not sleep through their calling. They awaken. And you are awakening right now. Take a deep breath. You were selected. Not for small things. Not for average outcomes. But for assignment. And what God is giving you, that one thing, will change the direction of your next season. This is only the beginning of what is being revealed. Beloved soul, something is shifting in the atmosphere around you right now. You may not see it with your physical eyes, but in the unseen realm, movement has already begun. When God selects someone, He does not do it quietly. There is a rearrangement. There is a restructuring. There is a divine stirring that begins to push things into alignment. And this is exactly where you are standing at this very moment. The reason this message carries urgency is because timing is everything. There are seasons when God allows slow growth, and then there are moments when He releases sudden acceleration. You are stepping into acceleration. What took years to build may change in days. What felt blocked may suddenly clear without explanation. But acceleration requires agreement. It requires your yes. Archangel Michael stands as a guardian during times of spiritual promotion. Whenever a chosen one is about to cross into a new level, resistance increases. Doubt becomes louder. Distractions multiply. Old fears try to resurface. It is not random. It is a signal that you are near something significant. Have you noticed subtle resistance lately? Small delays, strange misunderstandings, unexpected emotional heaviness. These are not signs to retreat. They are confirmations that movement is near. God is giving you that one thing, but that one thing is not just a material blessing. It is alignment. It is clarity. It is authority. It is the restoration of confidence you once lost. Many people think blessings always look like money or opportunity. But sometimes the greatest gift is direction. When direction is restored, everything else follows. Before tonight at 11:59 p.m., something must settle in your heart. You must decide that you will not treat this moment casually. The chosen ones recognize when heaven is speaking. And here is what makes this powerful. You did not search for this message. It appeared. That means it was sent. There is a spiritual door that has been partially opened for you. Not fully closed, not fully opened. You have felt it. That sense that something bigger is waiting, but you cannot quite step into it. That hesitation is about to break. Archangel Michael hath been clearing confusion from your path. Some connections that seemed important may begin to fade. Some habits that felt comfortable may no longer fit. This is not loss. It is preparation. The one thing God is giving you requires space. You cannot carry doubt and destiny at the same time. One must go. Before tonight, make the decision to release the doubt. Speak it out loud if you must. Say, I receive what God has prepared for me. A declaration shifts something in the unseen realm. This message is not for everyone. Many will scroll past it. Many will ignore the timing attached to it. But you are still here, listening carefully. That is evidence that your spirit recognizes truth when it hears it. Right now, I want you to do something intentional. Pause for a moment and reflect on the area of your life that feels unfinished. The prayer that has been hanging in the air without resolution. That is the area under divine review. That is where movement is coming. But participation matters. If this message is confirming something in your spirit, do not stay silent. Engage with it. Let your faith become visible. Like this message, so it reaches other chosen ones who are waiting for confirmation. Share it with someone who has been praying for a breakthrough. Comment below with a simple declaration of faith so heaven sees your agreement. Subscribe to this channel and become part of a community that refuses to sleep through divine moments. Join the membership if you feel called to stand deeper in this mission. When you engage, you are not just supporting a video. You are aligning yourself with a message that was sent for you. Something powerful is about to be revealed, and what unfolds next will connect directly to the deadline attached to tonight. You will want to understand why the timing is so precise and what it unlocks in your life. Keep your focus here, because what is coming will make everything clearer than it has ever been before. Faithful one, the clock in the spirit is louder than the clock on your wall. There is a reason the timing of 11:59 p.m. was spoken so clearly. It is not about superstition. It is about completion. 11:59 represents the final minute before a shift. It is the space between what was and what is about to be. It is the breath before the page turns. And you, chosen one, are standing in that breath. All throughout your life, there have been moments where you sensed something was about to change, but nothing visibly moved. This time is different. This time, the unseen has already been set in motion. Archangel Michael has been positioned at the edge of your transition, ensuring that what God releases cannot be intercepted. When heaven assigns a warrior to your season, it means the blessing is valuable. You have underestimated how valuable you are. The battles you endured were not random attacks. They were indicators. The greater the calling, the greater the resistance. And yet, you are still here. Still believing. Still listening. That alone qualifies you for what is being handed to you now. God is giving you that one thing, and it is deeply connected to identity. Somewhere along the journey, you questioned who you were. You doubted your significance. You compared your progress to others and felt behind. But heaven does not measure time the way humans do. Heaven measures readiness. And now, you are ready. Before 11:59 p.m., there must be an internal agreement. This is not about rushing. It is about recognizing that this is a divine interruption. Recognizing that this is not entertainment. Recognizing that this is an invitation. There are two types of people hearing this message. those who will treat it as background noise, and those who will feel their spirit stirred. If your heart is beating a little faster, if your thoughts are unusually focused, if something inside you feels alert, that is not coincidence. That is confirmation. Archangel Michael does not guard ordinary assignments. He stands where destiny shifts, and tonight marks a crossing point. What felt delayed is about to be restored. What felt unclear is about to be clarified. But here is the deeper truth. The one thing God is giving you may not look like what you expected. It may come disguised as courage. It may appear as an unexpected opportunity. It may show up as a conversation that changes everything. Do not limit God's delivery system. The package may not look glamorous, but the content will be life-altering. There is also something being removed. A weight you have carried too long. A mindset that kept you small. A fear that whispered, maybe this is not for you. That whisper expires tonight. Heaven has watched your obedience in private. The quiet prayers. The silent fasting from negativity. The small acts of integrity when no one was looking. Those moments built spiritual equity. And now there is a release attached to it. You must respond with faith. Before the day closes, speak gratitude for what you have not yet seen. That act alone activates alignment. Gratitude is a key that unlocks invisible doors. When you thank God before the evidence appears, you signal trust. And trust accelerates fulfillment. Do not let distraction steal this moment. Do not let doubt talk you out of expectancy. The enemy of your breakthrough prefers that you remain passive. But chosen ones are not passive. They are attentive. There is a final instruction in your spirit. Open immediately. It does not necessarily mean opening a physical object. It means opening your heart. Opening your expectation. Opening your willingness to receive without overanalyzing. The minute before midnight is sacred because it represents surrender. Surrender says, I trust you enough to step forward even if I cannot see the full picture. That is the posture heaven responds to. Right now, I want you to declare in your spirit that you will not miss what God is releasing. Refuse to treat this casually. Refuse to scroll away mentally. Anchor yourself in this moment, because after tonight, you will look back and realize this was a turning point. If this message is speaking directly to your spirit, type I receive the shift in the comments. Lesson code 4599 is now activated over your life. And as this shift unfolds, understand something deeper. When you sow into what feeds your spirit, you water your own harvest. Scripture says that when you give, it will be given back to you, pressed down and overflowing. This is not just a verse. It is God speaking personally to you right now. When you choose to support the spreading of His Word through super thanks, membership, or even a PayPal seed through the link in the description, you are not helping a channel. You are helping light reach another chosen one who is standing at their 11:59 moment. I feel led to say this clearly. I am stepping into agreement with heaven's movement. That is the bridge between hearing and doing. As this message has found you before midnight, let your response rise before midnight as well. Make it prophetic. Make it intentional. Every seed released into good soil becomes a voice that echoes into someone else's darkness. And as you give, I declare that Archangel Michael stands guard over your resources, multiplying what you release. Do not hesitate. Act in faith. Seal this moment with obedience. Chosen one, something is being rearranged behind the scenes in ways you cannot yet measure. After a spiritual shift is declared, there is always a moment of quiet restructuring. It may not feel dramatic on the outside, You may not hear thunder or see visible signs, but internally, spiritually, pieces are moving into their correct positions. What once felt scattered is being aligned. What once felt uncertain is being clarified. This is the stage many misunderstand. They expect instant fireworks, but God often works through strategic placement. Before elevation becomes visible, foundation must be reinforced. And that is what is happening in your life right now. You might notice subtle changes in your thinking. Old fears losing their grip. Situations that once intimidated you no longer carry the same weight. Conversations that used to confuse you now seem transparent. This is not coincidence. This is maturity being activated. Archangel Michael does not only protect, he also fortifies. His presence in your season signals strengthening. You are being strengthened for what you're praying for. Because the truth is, the one thing God is giving you requires a stronger version of you. You asked for increase. Increase requires capacity. You asked for influence. Influence requires stability. You asked for restoration. Restoration requires readiness. There were times when you would have mishandled the blessing, not intentionally but prematurely. That is why there were delays, not denial. Delay. And there is a difference. Delay is protection in disguise. Think back to moments when doors closed unexpectedly, opportunities that slipped away, relationships that ended before you felt prepared. At the time, it felt painful. But now, with greater clarity, you can see how certain things would have limited you. They would have kept you smaller than your assignment. God was preserving you for this. Right now, your environment may still look the same. Your daily routine may not have changed dramatically. But spiritually, the ground beneath you is different. It is firmer. It is more secure. You are not as fragile as you used to be. You are not as easily shaken. That is growth. And growth is the evidence of selection. The chosen ones are refined quietly before they are revealed publicly. That is why your process felt lonely at times. Not everyone could walk with you into this level. Some people were seasonal. They served their purpose, and then they exited. Do not mourn what was necessary. Archangel Michael hath been ensuring that distractions do not follow you into your next chapter. Some separations were divine. Some endings were strategic. You may not have understood it then, but you will thank God for it soon. As midnight approaches in the spirit, there is one more layer being peeled away. It is the layer of hesitation. You have learned wisdom. You have learned patience. But now you must learn boldness. Boldness is not arrogance. It is confidence in divine backing. When you understand that heaven stands behind you, you stop shrinking in rooms you were called to influence. You stop apologizing for your presence. You stop questioning whether you belong. You belong because you were chosen. Let that settle deeply. The one thing being released to you is not just external. It is internal authority. Authority changes posture. It changes speech. It changes how you respond to opposition. Instead of reacting emotionally, you will respond strategically. Instead of doubting yourself, you will trust your discernment. Instead of waiting for permission, you will move with conviction. That is transformation. And transformation attracts opportunity. There will be a moment very soon when you are presented with a decision. It may appear small on the surface, but it will carry weight. In that moment, remember this message. Remember that you were selected. Remember that hesitation expired at 11:59 p.m. Archangel Michael stands as a reminder that you are not alone in that decision. Protection surrounds your obedience. Guidance accompanies your steps. But here is the truth you must embrace. Elevation can feel unfamiliar. When things begin to go right after a long season of struggle, it can almost feel suspicious. You may catch yourself waiting for something to go wrong. Release that expectation. Not every good season is temporary. Not every breakthrough is fragile. Sometimes God simply decides that enough is enough. Enough waiting. Enough doubting. Enough surviving. Now it is time to build. The ground has been cleared. The hesitation hath been addressed. The selection has been confirmed. What remains is your continued agreement. Do not fall back into old patterns. Do not revisit expired fears. Do not entertain voices that contradict what God has spoken over you. Midnight has passed in the Spirit. A new chapter has begun. And the most powerful part is this: you are not chasing destiny anymore. Destiny is responding to you. Stay attentive. Stay grounded. Stay grateful. Because what unfolds next will prove that this was not just a message. It was a marker in your life. Anointed one, now that the shift has been marked in the Spirit, you must understand what happens after selection. Selection is not the finish line. It is the commissioning. When God chooses someone, He does not simply hand them comfort. He entrusts them with responsibility. And this is where many people become uncomfortable. They celebrate the idea of being chosen, but they hesitate when they realize chosen ones are called to carry light into places that feel heavy. You are not chosen to blend in. You are chosen to shift atmospheres. There is something different about your presence. You may have noticed it without fully understanding it. Rooms feel different when you enter. Conversations shift when you speak. Some people feel drawn to you for no clear reason, while others seem unsettled without explanation. This is spiritual distinction. Archangel Michael's involvement in your journey signals that you are not just stepping into blessing, but into influence. Influence requires discipline. Influence requires awareness. Influence requires protection. And that protection has been active over your life longer than you realize. Think about the close calls you survived. The situations that could have gone terribly wrong but somehow did not. The moments when you felt guided away from something you later discovered would have harmed your peace. That was not luck. That was covering. Now that you are entering a new level, the covering remains, but your cooperation increases. There will be tests, but they will not look like battles. They will look like choices. Small decisions that determine whether you walk in old patterns or new authority. Whether you respond from insecurity or confidence. Whether you shrink or stand. This is the refinement of the chosen. You ask God for that one thing. But what if that one thing is bigger than you imagined? What if it is not just a blessing for you, but a blessing through you? There are people connected to your future who need you to step fully into your calling. Your obedience unlocks more than your own breakthrough. It creates ripple effects. Families are impacted. Generations are influenced. Cycles are broken. That is why the timing felt urgent. Midnight was symbolic of closure. Closure of self-doubt. Closure of passive faith. Closure of waiting for someone else to validate you. Now comes activation. You may begin to feel ideas surfacing in your mind more frequently. Creative thoughts. Strategic insights. A desire to start something new. Do not ignore these promptings. The chosen often receive instruction in quiet whispers before public announcements. Archangel Michael's presence also signals courage. There may be a conversation you have been avoiding, a step you have been postponing, a boundary you need to set. Courage does not mean absence of fear. It means movement despite it. And here is the powerful truth. Fear loses its authority when you recognize your identity. You are not behind. You are not forgotten. You are not unqualified. You are prepared. The enemy of your destiny thrives on comparison. He wants you measuring your journey against someone else's highlight reel. But comparison is a distraction from assignment. The chosen have individualized paths. Your timing is custom. Your preparation was specific. Your breakthrough will be unique. There is also something else happening beneath the surface. Your discernment is sharpening. You are beginning to see people and situations more clearly. You are less impressed by surface appearances. You are more attentive to character and consistency. This is maturity, and maturity attracts trust. In the coming days, someone may confide in you unexpectedly. Someone may seek your advice or presence during a critical moment in their life. Do not dismiss it. You carry wisdom born from struggle. Your scars have become sources of guidance. God does not waste pain. Every tear, every delay, every unanswered question has been converted into depth. And depth is rare. As this new chapter unfolds, protect your focus. Do not allow negativity to creep back in disguised as familiarity. Old habits may try to knock on your door. Old doubts may attempt to whisper again. But remember, midnight has passed. That chapter has closed. Speak differently about yourself. Think differently about your future. Expect differently from your circumstances. The one thing God is giving you is not fragile. It is secured by divine intention. Archangel Michael stands watch not only over your protection, but over your progression. You are moving forward. There will be moments of confirmation soon. Small signs that reassure you that this message was real. Pay attention to them. They will strengthen your faith. And as you continue walking in this awareness, something remarkable will happen. You will stop asking whether you are chosen. You will start living like you know you are. That shift in posture changes everything. Stand firm. Stay alert. Stay aligned. Because what unfolds next will require boldness, and boldness is now part of who you are becoming. Warrior of light, what is unfolding now is not random momentum. It is divine orchestration. There comes a stage after activation where clarity sharpens and distractions intensify at the same time. That is where you are standing. You feel clearer than before, yet you may also sense subtle pulls trying to divert your focus. This is not a setback. It is confirmation that your movement forward is real. When chosen ones begin to walk with awareness, the environment reacts. Some people will suddenly misunderstand you. Others may question your decisions. A few may even distance themselves without explanation. Do not panic when this happens. Not everyone is meant to travel into your next season. Archangel Michael stands guard not only over your safety, but over your associations. There are connections that were permitted for a season but cannot cross into your elevation. Separation is not rejection. It is refinement. You may feel a growing desire for solitude, a need to think clearly, a pull toward prayer, reflection, or simply quiet space. Honor that instinct. In quiet moments, strategy is revealed. In stillness, direction becomes unmistakable. The one thing God is giving you is beginning to take shape. It may not be fully visible yet, but you can sense it forming. Like the first light before sunrise, it is subtle but undeniable. You are no longer wandering. You are moving with intention. But here is the key. Discipline must now match revelation. It is easy to feel inspired. It is harder to stay consistent. Chosen ones are separated not just by calling, but by commitment. The habits you build in this season will determine how far you go in the next one. Ask yourself honestly, what behaviors must shift to match the future I am stepping into? Perhaps it is time management. Perhaps it is self-talk. Perhaps it is boundaries. Elevation demands alignment in small details. Archangel Michael's energy around your journey speaks of strength under pressure. Pressure is not here to break you. It is here to reveal you. Diamonds are formed under weight. Authority is formed under resistance. Do not interpret pressure as punishment. Interpret it as preparation. There will be moments soon when you are tested with convenience. Opportunities that look easy but do not align with your higher path. Quick shortcuts that promise fast results but compromise long-term integrity. This is where discernment must lead. The chosen are marked by patience. You are not desperate anymore. You are directed. And that difference changes everything. Something else is happening in your spirit. Confidence is rising, but it feels unfamiliar. You may question whether it is pride. It is not pride. It is awareness of identity. Pride elevates self above God. Identity aligns self with God. There is a quiet assurance growing inside you that says, I am ready. That voice is not imagination. It is confirmation. In this stage, protect your energy carefully. Not every conversation deserves your depth. Not every argument deserves your response. Silence can be more powerful than explanation. Archangel Michael symbolizes strategic warfare. He does not fight every battle loudly. Sometimes protection happens through avoidance. Sometimes victory happens because you refuse to engage in something beneath your calling. Remember, you were selected. And selection comes with visibility in the unseen realm. That is why consistency matters now more than ever. Small compromises can create unnecessary delays, but small acts of obedience create acceleration. This is also the moment to engage actively with what is feeding your spirit. Do not stay passive. Like this message if it resonates with your journey so others who are being prepared can find confirmation. Share it with someone who has felt isolated in their process. Comment your agreement so your faith is spoken aloud. Subscribe to this channel and remain connected to a community that understands divine timing. If you feel led, join the membership and stand deeper in alignment with this mission. When you engage intentionally, you are declaring that you are not ashamed of your selection. There is something significant about what is about to be revealed next. It will connect the urgency, the preparation, and the protection into one clear picture. You will begin to see why certain doors had to close and why certain delays were necessary. Hold your focus here, because the next revelation will tie everything together in a way you did not expect. Steadfast soul, now the pattern is becoming visible. You have felt the urgency. You have sensed the protection. You have noticed the internal shift. But now you must understand the deeper layer of what hath been happening all along. This was never just about receiving one thing. It was about becoming someone who can carry it without losing balance. Many people ask God for elevation, but few are prepared for the responsibility that comes with it. Elevation magnifies everything. It magnifies your strengths, but it also exposes your weaknesses. That is why your preparation season felt intense. It was not to discourage you. It was to stabilize you. Archangel Michael's presence in your journey symbolizes more than protection. It represents alignment with divine order. Order means that nothing is random. Every delay had a reason. Every closed door had a purpose. Every uncomfortable season with building internal architecture strong enough to hold what is coming. Right now, you may feel a strange mixture of peace and anticipation. Peace because something heavy has lifted. Anticipation because you know movement is near. This combination is not accidental. It is the atmosphere before manifestation. There are things you once begged God to change that you now look at with understanding. Situations that once felt unfair now make sense. People who once hurt you unknowingly pushed you toward growth. What felt like betrayal may have actually been redirection. Chosen ones often walk through misunderstanding before they walk into clarity. You were misunderstood because you were evolving. And evolution can look strange to those who remain comfortable. Do not shrink to make others comfortable. The one thing God is giving you is directly connected to your authentic self. Not the version of you that tries to fit expectations. Not the version that hides to avoid attention. The real you. The bold you. The discerning you. The leader within you. And here is the truth. Some people will only recognize your value after you stop seeking their approval. That realization can feel lonely at first. But loneliness in growth is temporary. What replaces it is alignment. When you stand fully in who you are, you begin attracting people who resonate with your frequency rather than tolerate your presence. Archangel Michael's energy over your life indicates that you are stepping into spiritual authority. Authority does not shout. It stands firm. It does not chase validation. It moves with certainty. You may soon find yourself placed in situations where your voice carries more weight than before. Do not be intimidated by that. Speak carefully. Speak truthfully. Speak with grace. But do not silence yourself out of habit. There is also a financial or practical aspect connected to your breakthrough. The one thing being released is not limited to emotions or mindset. It may influence your career, your resources, or your opportunities. Be attentive to ideas that seem unconventional but aligned with your values. Sometimes divine instruction does not follow traditional paths. The key is obedience. When instruction comes, move promptly. Do not overanalyze yourself into paralysis. Overthinking has delayed you before. This season requiring decisive steps. You may notice that your tolerance for chaos is decreasing. Things that once seemed normal now feel disruptive. This is growth. You are no longer wired for survival mode. You are wired for purpose. Purpose demands clarity. Clear your physical space if necessary. Organize what hath been neglected. Respond to conversations that need closure. Tie up loose ends. These small acts create mental freedom, and mental freedom allows spiritual focus. Something significant is about to align externally in a way that mirrors what has already shifted internally. When it happens, you will recognize it immediately. It will not feel forced. It will feel prepared. Do not rush ahead of timing. Continue walking steadily. Continue listening carefully. Continue guarding your peace fiercely. The chosen do not stumble into destiny accidentally. They walk into it consciously. And here is the powerful part. You are no longer questioning whether this message is for you. You know it is. That certainty is the final confirmation. Archangel Michael stands not behind you, but beside you. Not to fight for you alone, but to remind you that you have strength within you as well. The next revelation will bring closure to everything that once felt uncertain. It will show you how every piece connects, how every struggle shaped you, and how the urgency of that 11:59 moment was not pressure, but protection. Stay steady. You are closer than you think. Radiant One, now you are beginning to see why this message found you before midnight. The urgency was never meant to frighten you. It was meant to awaken you. There are moments in life when heaven leans in closer than usual, when divine instruction becomes specific, when timing becomes sharp instead of vague. At 11:59 p.m. moment was not about a clock. It was about consciousness. You were being called to attention. Since that spiritual crossing, something inside you has shifted permanently. You cannot return to the old mindset. You cannot pretend you did not hear what you heard. You cannot unknow that you were selected. Awareness changes responsibility. Archangel Michael's presence in your journey at this stage represents confirmation. The battle you feared did not overtake you. The door you worried would close permanently did not disappear. Instead, you were repositioned. That is the word over this season. Repositioned. Repositioning can feel uncomfortable because it disrupts familiarity. You may have sensed subtle adjustments in your routine, your priorities, even your relationships. What once felt urgent now feels unimportant. What once felt distant now feels near. This is divine recalibration. The one thing God is giving you is clarity of direction. Without direction, blessings become distractions. With direction, even small resources become powerful tools. You may have noticed that confusion is lifting. Decisions that once overwhelmed you now seem simpler. You are trusting your instincts more. You are less dependent on external validation. This is not isolation. This is maturation. Chosen ones must learn to hear God clearly without constant reassurance. There is also a new level of courage rising in you. Conversations that once intimidated you now feel manageable. Opportunities that once felt too big now feel possible. Fear still whispers, but it no longer controls you. That is growth. And here is something important. Not everyone will celebrate your repositioning. Some benefited from your confusion. Some were comfortable when you doubted yourself. When clarity enters your life, it disrupts anyone who was thriving in your uncertainty. Do not apologize for your growth. Archangel Michael stands as a symbol of spiritual authority, and authority often attracts attention. You may feel watched more closely, evaluated more critically, observed in ways you were not before. This is not a sign to shrink. It is a sign to remain grounded. The one thing being released to you is stability. Emotional stability. Spiritual stability. Even financial or practical stability. Stability allows you to build without constantly looking over your shoulder. But stability requires stewardship. How you handle this next season matters deeply. Gratitude must remain central. Pride must be guarded against. Impatience must be resisted. When momentum builds, it can tempt you to move faster than wisdom allows. Stay aligned. There is also healing taking place quietly. Wounds that you thought would always ache are losing their intensity. Memories that once triggered pain now carry lessons instead. That is evidence that you are not just moving forward externally, but internally as well. This is restoration. Before midnight, you were standing at the edge of closure. Now, you are standing at the edge of expansion. Expansion does not mean chaos. It means increase with order. You may soon receive confirmation in a very practical way. An email, a message, an unexpected opportunity, a conversation that opens a door. When it happens, remember this moment. Remember that heaven prepared you before presenting it to you. If this message is aligning with what you are experiencing, type "I step into my next level" in the comments. Blessing code 8821 is now activated over your life. And as you step into this expansion, understand that supporting what feeds your spirit multiplies the impact of this movement. Scripture declares that when you sow generously, you reap generously, and that promise is alive and personal over you right now. As this word reached you at the precise moment you needed it, let your response rise with intention. I am answering heaven with action. That declaration bridges faith and obedience. When you release a super thanks, join the membership, or so through the PayPal link in the description, you are not funding content. You are fueling a river of light that reaches another chosen one before their midnight moment. This is prophetic participation. As you give, may doors open over your life with the same urgency that this message carried. May Archangel Michael stand guard over your resources and multiply what you release. Do not delay your obedience. Seal this expansion with decisive action. Chosen vessel, what you are stepping into now requires a new level of trust. And not trust in people, not trust in circumstances. Trust in the God who selected you before you selected yourself. Trust that the urgency you felt was real. Trust that the shift you experienced was not emotional hype but spiritual reality. Because now, the evidence is beginning to surface. You may have already noticed subtle confirmations. A door that once felt sealed now slightly open. A conversation that carried unexpected favor. A burden that suddenly feels lighter without clear explanation. These are not coincidences. They are indicators. When heaven moves, it often begins quietly. The seed breaks open underground before it ever becomes visible above ground. And you, chosen one, are in that breaking open stage. Something is unfolding beneath the surface that will soon be undeniable. Archangel Michael's presence in your journey during this stage signals strengthening of resolve. Resolve means you are no longer easily swayed by doubt. It means you are less reactive and more discerning. It means you pause before responding. That is maturity in motion. But understand this clearly. The moment after clarity is often tested. You will be presented with situations that look similar to your past. Old patterns may attempt to reintroduce themselves. Familiar temptations to settle may whisper again. Not because you are weak, but because growth must be confirmed. This is your confirmation season. Instead of reacting automatically, you will respond intentionally. Instead of falling back into insecurity, you will stand in awareness. Instead of chasing what runs from you, you will attract what aligns with you. That shift alone changes your trajectory. The one thing God is giving you is not fragile. It is established in divine timing. But how you handle yourself in this stage determines how smoothly it manifests. Guard your speech carefully. Words shape reality more than you realize. Speak life over your progress, even if it feels incomplete. Avoid minimizing what God is doing simply because it has not reached full visibility. There is also something important happening within your relationships. You are becoming more selective. Not judgmental, but discerning. You no longer feel obligated to explain yourself to everyone. You no longer feel responsible for managing others' misunderstandings of you. That freedom is powerful. Archangel Michael represents boundaries as much as protection. Boundaries are not walls of isolation. They are gates of wisdom. You are learning when to open and when to close. In the coming days, expect a moment of affirmation that feels unmistakable. It may come through someone acknowledging your growth. It may come through an opportunity aligning too perfectly to ignore. It may come through a deep inner peace that replaces years of striving. When that moment arrives, do not downplay it. Receive it fully. Remember how intense the urgency felt before midnight. That intensity was heaven shaking you awake. Now comes the steady walk forward. Not rushed, not frantic, but confident. You are no longer standing at the edge. You are walking into the field. And here is the deeper revelation. The field was prepared long before you arrived. Resources are already positioned. Connections are already aligning. Doors are already calibrated to open at the right touch. You are not late. You are precisely on time. There may still be small obstacles, but they will not carry the same weight as before. You will handle them differently. With composure. With strategy. With perspective. Perspective is one of the greatest gifts of the chosen. It allows you to see beyond immediate discomfort into long-term purpose. Do not rush outcomes. Do not demand instant proof. Continue walking steadily. Continue listening closely. Continue honoring the inner shift that took place. Because soon, what began as a whispered warning will become a visible testimony. You will look back and realize that the moment you almost ignored was the moment that changed everything. Stay anchored. Stay aligned. You are no longer waiting for confirmation. You are living in it. Awakened one, now you are entering the stage where manifestation meets responsibility. You have felt the shift. You have seen the subtle confirmations. You have sensed the internal transformation. But this next stretch is where many chosen ones either stabilize or sabotage their own progress. Not because they are unworthy, but because consistency becomes the real test. Momentum is building around you. Things are beginning to align in ways that would have overwhelmed the old version of you. Conversations are becoming more meaningful. Opportunities feel more serious. Even the way people respond to you carries a different tone. There is weight on your words now. There is attention on your movement. This is not accidental. Archangel Michael's presence during this phase signals vigilance. Not fear but awareness. When blessings begin to materialize, distractions often increase as well. You may find more noise around you. More opinions. More unsolicited advice. More invitations that look appealing but feel misaligned. This is where discernment must remain sharp. Not every open door is meant for you. Not every compliment is confirmation. Not every opportunity is divine timing. The chosen learn to pause before stepping forward. They ask internally, does this align with what God showed me? That simple question protects years of progress. You are no longer desperate for validation. That season has ended. Now you are selective about what you entertain. The one thing God is giving you is unfolding in layers. It may not have arrived in one dramatic moment, but piece by piece, it is forming. A new sense of stability. A clearer direction. A restored confidence. A practical opportunity that aligns with your growth. Do not rush it. There is strength in steady progress. You may also feel a growing sense of responsibility. Almost like you know people are watching your journey, even if they do not say it. That awareness is not pressure. It is leadership emerging. Leadership does not always come with a title. Sometimes it comes with influence. The way you carry yourself now speaks louder than before. The way you respond to stress sets an example. The way you protect your peace inspires others silently. Archangel Michael represents courage under observation. He stands firm even when surrounded. That same steadiness is being cultivated in you. There may be a moment very soon where you are tempted to revert to an old coping mechanism. Overthinking. Procrastination. Seeking reassurance from the wrong sources. When that moment comes, recognize it immediately. It is not who you are anymore. You have crossed midnight in the spirit. That old version of you expired there. Now comes the call to consistency. Show up daily. Pray even when you feel strong. Reflect even when things are going well. Discipline sustains what breakthrough begins. And do not isolate yourself in this process. If this message has walked with you through your transition, let your agreement be visible. Like this video so it continues reaching other chosen ones standing at their own turning point. Share it with someone who has felt the urgency of divine timing but doubted themselves. Comment your declaration of alignment so your voice joins the movement. Subscribe to this channel and remain connected to a space that honors spiritual growth. If you feel called, join the membership and stand firmly in this mission. Your engagement is not just digital activity, it is spiritual alignment. Something profound is about to be revealed next. That will connect your responsibility to your reward in a way that removes all lingering doubt. You will understand why the urgency was necessary, why the protection was intense, and why the shift had to happen before manifestation. Lean in closely, because what comes next will confirm that this was not just a message you watched. It was a destiny you step into. Faithful guardian of your calling, this is where everything converges. You have walked through urgency. You have embraced alignment. You have practiced discernment. Now you are standing in the space where reward meets revelation. Not reward as applause, but reward as evidence. Evidence that obedience was not wasted. Evidence that delay was not denial. Evidence that being chosen was not imagination. There is a settling happening inside you. It is not loud. It is not dramatic. But it is solid. You are no longer questioning whether God is moving. You are recognizing how He moved all along. The disappointments that once confused you now appear strategic. The waiting season that felt endless now looks intentional. Archangel Michael's presence over this entire journey symbolizes one powerful truth. You were protected from outcomes that would have limited your destiny. Think about that deeply. Some things you cried over would have shrunk your future. Some doors you begged to open would have trapped you in environments too small for your growth. Protection often feels like rejection in the moment. But now, clarity replaces confusion. The one thing God is giving you has become clearer. It is not just a single event. It is a new operating system for your life. You think differently. You respond differently. You expect differently. That transformation is the real gift. Because with this new awareness, you cannot unknow your value. There may still be moments of uncertainty ahead. Being chosen does not eliminate challenge, but it changes your posture in the face of it. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" you now ask, "What is this preparing me for?" That question alone shifts your power. You are no longer intimidated by closed doors. You are curious about better ones. There is also a deeper peace settling over your finances, your relationships, and your future. Even if everything is not perfect, there is stability in your spirit. That stability is a sign of maturity. Archangel Michael represents unwavering strength in transition. You are not in transition anymore. You are in establishment. Establishment means roots going deeper. You may find yourself craving long-term vision instead of short-term excitement. You are thinking about legacy instead of temporary wins. That shift is profound. It means you are no longer surviving. You are building. And building requires patience. Do not rush the structure. Do not demand instant results. The foundation you are laying now will support years of growth. You may also notice that certain temptations have lost their appeal. Drama feels exhausting. Chaos feels unnecessary. Validation feels optional. That is evidence of transformation. The urgency that once stirred you has now turned into discipline. You are no longer reacting to a warning. You are responding to a calling. And here is something important. Do not forget gratitude in the stage. When things begin to stabilize, it is easy to move forward without looking back. But remembering where you started strengthens humility. Humility protects elevation. There will soon be a defining moment that confirms everything. It may be subtle, but it will be undeniable. A breakthrough that feels earned. A peace that feels permanent. A door that opens with unusual ease. When it happens, pause and acknowledge it. Say thank you. Recognize that the midnight warning was not pressure. It was preparation. It was God shaking you awake before opportunity arrived. And now, you are awake. You are no longer waiting for someone to tell you that you are chosen. You carry that knowledge quietly and confidently. You do not need constant reassurance. You walk with awareness. Archangel Michael stands as a reminder that strength and humility can coexist. Authority and compassion can coexist. Boldness and patience can coexist. You are living proof. The final revelation will seal this entire journey with clarity. It will remind you of the original urgency, the reason you were selected, and the responsibility that comes with sustained blessing. Stay attentive, because what is about to be declared will anchor everything you have experienced into one powerful truth. Chosen one. This is the sealing of the matter. From the first moment you heard the urgency, from the warning before 11:59 p.m., from the stirring that would not let you scroll away, you were being positioned for this realization. You were never randomly selected. You were intentionally summoned. Everything connects now. The deadline was not about fear. It was about awakening. The warning was not about loss. It was about alignment. The intensity you felt was heaven interrupting your routine before destiny passed quietly by. And you responded. That response changed everything. Archangel Michael's presence throughout this journey was not symbolic decoration. It was confirmation that protection surrounded your transition. While you were uncertain, you were guarded. While you were doubting, you were defended. While you were hesitating, heaven was holding back what would have harmed you. Now you understand. God was not withholding from you. He was preparing you. The one thing He promised was never just an object or an event. It was awakening. It was clarity. It was restored identity. It was authority in your spirit. And from that place everything else flows. Look at who you are now compared to who you were before that urgent moment. You are steadier. You are more discerning. You are less desperate. You are more confident without being arrogant. You carry peace differently. That is the real miracle. Opportunities will continue to unfold. Favor will show up in unexpected places. Doors will open that once felt sealed. But the greatest transformation already happened within you. You no longer need to be convinced that you are chosen. You know it. And when you know you are chosen, you move differently. You speak differently. You decide differently. There will still be challenges ahead. Being chosen does not mean being exempt from growth. But now, challenges do not intimidate you. They refine you. They reveal you. They strengthen you. Archangel Michael stands not as a distant warrior, but as a reminder of the strength already within you. The same courage you admired is alive in your spirit. The same protection you prayed for hath been active all along. The midnight moment has passed, but the awakening remains. Never treat divine urgency casually again. When you feel that stirring in your spirit, respond. When you sense that warning, move. When you recognize that alignment, act. Because you now understand what it means to miss nothing. God said this was for the chosen ones only. And you are still here. That alone is confirmation. Carry this awareness forward. Guard it. Honor it. Build from it. And when the next level unfolds, remember this turning point. Remember the warning you almost ignored. Remember the shift you chose to embrace. If this entire journey has spoken directly to your spirit, type "I was elected and I responded" in the comments. Blessing code 9907 is now activated over your life. Now hear this clearly. The same urgency that called you before midnight is calling you again, not to watch, but to act. Scripture declares, "Give, and it shall be given unto you, pressed down, shaken together, and running over." That is not a distant promise. That is God speaking directly to you in this moment. As this message reached you at the exact second you needed it, you now have the opportunity to help it reach another chosen one standing at their 11:59. I am responding to heaven with action. Let that be your declaration. When you release a super thanks, join the membership, or sow through the PayPal link in the description, you are not supporting a channel. You are advancing a divine interruption in someone else's life. This is seed into fertile ground. This is light multiplying into darkness. As you give, may doors open swiftly over your household. May provision chase you. May Archangel Michael stand guard over every resource connected to your name. Do not delay obedience. Seal your selection with action today.